second to approve 3C1. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. 3C2.
Two. I so moved that we accept
But she's got to read it.
Oh, read it, okay, sorry. I thought we already had the summary, so, I'm ready to go.
This is a resolution and ordinance of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida that I will read by title only. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, Council authorizing financing of property assessed clean energy, PACE, improvements within the City of Punta Gorda, providing for PACE provider levy of non-ad valorem assessments, third-party administration, financing agreements, and approval of PACE provider agreements, directing staff to evaluate additional PACE providers, establishing standards for evaluating additional PACE providers, directing staff to negotiate with additional PACE providers, and directing staff to present future PACE provider agreements for council consideration, and providing for severability and an effective date.
Thank you.
Can I make one more comment on these?
Sure.
These are non-exclusive agreements, so there can be more, and if there were more companies that approach the city, we'd evaluate them and bring them to council. But as I said, these three are the three approved currently by the county.
Okay, and this is to approve the non-ad valorem assessment portion of that. Any other questions?
Okay. I approve that we accept C2.
Second.
We have a motion, a second to approve. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Now, 3C3.
This is a resolution and ordinance of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida that I will read by title only. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, creating a property assessed clean energy PACE program and joining the Green Corridor Property Assessment Clean Energy PACE District as a non-voting member, authorizing the execution of a non-exclusive membership agreement with the Green Corridor Property Assessment Clean Energy PACE District, providing directions to the city clerk, and providing for an effective date.
Any other comments? So if we get more people, will it just be like a consent agenda item since we have all of this in place already?
No, it'll be a resolution, each of these resolutions is for a different company.
Okay,
So by adopting the resolution, you're also agreeing to enter into the three different membership agreements for each of them. So
Okay.
it would come back the exact same way as a resolution and a membership agreement.
okay.
I make a motion for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second to approve C3. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Okay, on to the consent agenda. Does any council member have anything they would like to pull off the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
wait a minute.
First, we gotta do citizens' comments, and then I guess we need to read, 4C1 into the record. Okay, citizens' comments on consent agenda. Anybody like to speak?
Yeah, got it.
The items are approval of the minutes, a resolution which will be read, and the solar master agreement amendment that we heard during the CRA. Anybody? Okay. Hmm? Oh, and law enforcement trust fund reimbursement, disbursement. Okay, seeing none, then we will have her read, okay, the resolution, and then we can take a motion to,
On the
Excuse me?
consent agenda, you do not have to read the title unless you're gonna pull it and discuss it.
So we just move for approval.
Yep.
I move for approval. Okay,
Okay, second.
we have a motion, a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously.
I learned something.
Regular agenda, citizens' comments, regular agenda items only, which would be the fiscal year 2018 strategic plan, the employee security plan, the Ponce de Leon Park update, the creation of a non-monetary gift policy, and reconsideration of pilot program for medical marijuana. Anybody like to speak on any one of those items? Anybody? Okay, seeing none, we will move into budget. First, we have fiscal year 2018 strategic plan.
Okay, what I'd like to do is briefly go over some of the action items. We're not asking for approval today. We're asking you to review them, and we will make whatever changes you might have, and you will ask to be approving them on September 20th in conjunction with the budget. As I go through these, I will highlight comments from Councilmember Prafke as well. So, on page 6, this is a financial economic sustainability area. And a lot of these items are similar to what's been on there previously. We may have updated some of the language. One comment is on the external support public-private efforts that facilitate development of undeveloped commercial properties, that particular action item. Councilmember Prafty has asked that we insert the word proactively support public-private efforts, so that the city takes more of a involvement role, whatever that might be. So we insert the words proactively support. The rest of the items are pretty similar to what we've had in the past. Once we get the Fisherman's Village legal issue resolved, we will then come back to you with a plan for use of the entire special use fund. And we are moving forward with looking at our codes, city center and highway commercial primarily. So that process has already started. I have nothing else as far as financial economic stability.
As far as some of the requests that we've received, I know we received a request for lighting on the east side Tribune Woods neighborhood. What is going to be our process moving forward for how we're going to distribute those funds now that it's a city-controlled?
Urban Design has already set up a process where they're going to get community involvement. They've already begun sending out a community newsletter, and when we allocate the $50,000, this will be part of the list for consideration.
Okay.
Infrastructure. What we've done is listed the major projects that we're going to be undertaking. We've highlighted some of the, we always highlight estimated cost. We'll be completing the septic to sewer plan, and then what comes out of that, I don't know what the results will be. We're moving forward on the automated trash collection process and the advanced metering infrastructure. That contract or an award will be coming to you soon, as soon as the committee selects one of the vendors. That's where we're going to be replacing our outsourcing contractor with smart meters.
Did we have a good response?
We did.
Nice.
We're looking at 3 firms.
Great.
I have nothing else on infrastructure. On the next item is partnerships, communication, collaboration. We need to change the name of the Enterprise Charlotte Economic Council to the Economic Development Partnership. We changed it in one area, but we didn't change it everywhere. So they have a new name.
We need to add the Cultural Heritage Center of Southwest Florida, if we haven't added them already.
Cultural heritage,
Right? Is that the correct wording? Yeah.
Close here. Southwest Florida.
all right, we will add them.
They have a
Center-
cool logo.
Center, I know, of.
Southwest Florida?
Southwest Florida,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And, let's see, we have the, yep, okay.
Does the Economic Development Working Group still, who goes to that?
That is a, Vice Mayor Wine,
Oh, and to their board meetings, yeah. I go to the lunches.
Punta Gorda Chamber, that's still a working group.
Okay.
And, so, those are the action items that we will be undertaking under this category. Under the next one, marketing. Actually, no, it's not called marketing, it's strategic communications positioning. We will be getting the results, the next phase of the branding study soon, as well as our communications plan. If you approve the budget on September 20th, we will be advertising for a communications manager. So those are the action items under there. We will be checking, go back one one second, under key performance indicators, we will be checking the number of festivals and parades and number of sporting events. You see the increases that we have highlighted. We're going to be double checking to make sure those numbers are, we got those numbers from urban design, correct? Yeah, we're just going to double check because we see an increase. We've listed, even if there's minor events, we've listed them all, pretty much. Under quality of life. Under the, go up a little, Mikhail. Oh, keep going. Under the check marks. Okay, under the check marks, within Punta Gorda are such arts and cultural facilities. We list them. We need to add to it the Punta Gorda History Center and the Cultural
Heritage Center of Southwest
Heritage.
Florida.
Yes, we'll add that, we'll add that as well. Cultural Heritage Center. Under the fourth check mark, we need to take out the words "and a recently initiated advanced life support program." It's not recently initiated, it's been ongoing now for a number of years and kind of there. We need to take that out.
Yep.
And under the last check mark, we need to change the words "that is now affordable and attainable." That's the housing, because while it was when the prices went down, the prices now have gone up to such an extent that we're not sure our housing stock is affordable and attainable. However, we do have a housing mix, a diverse housing mix. So we want to take out the words "that is now affordable and attainable," because we don't feel it is anymore. In other words, the prices have gone up to an extent that we still need to work on that area again.
Go ahead.
As far as the action items, you see what some of the quality life action items are. And we are doing some improvements already along Taylor. We'll be putting in some right by across from, what's it called, FW Dons?
FM Dons.
FM Dons. In the that undeveloped lot where everybody seems to park. We are going to be putting up benches and trash receptacles along Taylor so that people don't take their vehicles and drive over the brick and the curbing back onto the street and ruining our brick and curbing. That's moving forward.
They're doing that because they keep getting blocked in.
Well,
Nobody leaves aisles for them to get out once they get up in the front section.
no,
That's what,
the
that's what.
property owners there are being nice, allowing them to park.
Sure, I understand.
And so,
Yeah.
like anything else, it's convenient, but it's ruining our infrastructure. So we are gonna take steps to stop that. And it adds more benches and trash receptacles in that area anyways, in line with our action item. Some of the other comments we received from folks, some of those are already in here. We're already taking care of them. So if you have any other suggested changes over the next couple of weeks, let us know, because we're bringing this back on September 20th for approval.
I have a question about some of the bicycle stuff that's in there. Are we still, the 18 miles, are we still going for an 18 mile? I mean, we don't really use that language anywhere else. Do we want to keep that in there? Is there a better way to describe?
For the record, Joan LeBeau, Urban Design Interim Manager. We are still looking to make connections to the Punta Gorda pathways, so we would prefer to keep that in. It is a connection on Cooper Street, Airport Road, and those areas, so it will be a total connection for a total of 18 miles.
Okay.
It's
So
a goal.
those,
It's a goal.
okay.
It's a goal. And that's it.
Any comments for Howard on anything to bring back?
Well, we're gonna revise some of the wording, but again, we adopt this as part of the budget, and then that's how you evaluate staff, and that's how the community evaluates all of us. Everybody's evaluating everybody.
Okay, next we have the employee security plan.
This is, as our human resources manager gets up there, we talked about this at a previous council meeting. We have now put together some improvements over a span of 2 to 3 years. And we will, want to undertake some of these improvements. And we've given you we will either be using the special use fund or general fund reserves to pay for these. Primarily using general fund reserves at first. And, we've already gone over all the items. These are go ahead, why don't you explain the process again?
Okay, I'll keep it very short. Phil Wickstrom for the record. This, basically what we were told to do was to break it out into a couple of budget years. We can extend it even further. Some of these items need to be done in conjunction with others. As we do doors, we want to do the alarms, or we want to do anything that's tied together, we want to get all that done at the same time. That's why you see so much stuff in the next budget year, and then the following year, not so much. Some of the things are very easy to do. We already did them, you know, keep a door locked or what have you, but this is what we've got. We have one employee that keeps a baseball bat under her desk, and you know, so it's just, they take it seriously. They really do. They want to come to work and feel safe. That's the issue.
Absolutely. We owe them that.
Yeah, and we're not going overboard, I don't think. We want to have a comfortable atmosphere when people come to City Hall. But we need to do a few things. That's all.
So what do you need from us today? Just,
Approval of the plan.
Move approval of the plan.
Second.
we have a motion, a second to approve the plan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Okay.
Next, we have the Ponce de Leon Park update.
For the record, John LeBeau, Urban Design Interim Manager. With us today, we have Jim Hurston. We've been working with Mr. Hurston on the Ponce redesign, and he has presented some ideas, and he's going to share them with you.
Thank you.
Good morning, City Council. I would, first of all, like to, for the record, I am President of Hurston Engineering Services. My name is James W. Hurston. I'm also may recognize me as a Charlotte County Airport Authority Commissioner. I am Chairman of the Charlotte Harbor CRA, and you may see me every once in a while at the MPO board meeting. But I am honored to work with the city, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy working with your staff. I think you have some of the best people in the region to work with. Of course, this is an aerial of
Are you going to be able
Ponce.
to hear? You're going to have to
Yeah.
stay close to the mic, sorry.
Sure.
Yep. Or you could go to that podium if you
Why don't
would
you go to
grab
that?
it.
That'll get me next. So what you have in front of you is basically the proposed site plan. Coming into the park, we have added a roundabout, which is a traffic calming feature. And basically what was important, first of all, I think the function of the park is pretty much ideal. There's the circulation part of it and the boat launching facilities, I think, is an ideal situation. So I think the main factor that we corrected was the parking capacity. And I believe we've doubled the passenger car and trailer parking, which should take the load off the Ponce de Leon Parkway. I know at times, I guess we have cars parked parallel on that roadway. So we've basically doubled the capacity. We've tried to be as generous as we could with benches and pavilions. We've added a playground area, of which the plan was obtained from the design studio, I believe. Who provided that? Julie provided that. And we will also be relocating and constructing a new restroom facility. And it is somewhat strategically located right beside the Peace River Wildlife Center property, such that maybe there could be some coordination between the two with respect to elevation differential and getting into the bathroom facilities. We've coordinated with everybody known, kayak people, vendors, Czech would like a small facility located basically so they can get into at least a little 5x5 storage area. So that they, I guess they store equipment. And so we've coordinated with all departments, and capacity was the main thing so that there could be an enjoyment for everybody involved. But if anybody has any questions? Yes.
Can you highlight where the new kayak launch is going to be?
Yes. Yes. Yes, we have proposed kayak area, just right down in that area right there. It's near the existing boat launch, and it provides some temporary parking right there so people can unload and load their kayaks and canoes. And that was per the working with the kayak and canoe people. I forget who that contact is, but that was their recommendation. And Bill Wood, thank you very much. And they also have another launch area up here. It's an existing facility. I think I just call for it, I just point to it and call for it and say that it's off-site, but it's used by others. And so I hope that answers Mr. Koenig.
The other question that was raised by Councilmember Prafke, I addressed it, but why don't you let everybody know? Those canopies, or whatever you call them in the beach area, that's for shade, right?
Yes, they are just open structures. I am going to permit those into the Southwest Florida Water Management District permit, whether you build those or not. I think it's up to your budgetary constraints. But yeah, it's just, I wanted to design more than what you may build, but at least you will have then the permission to build them.
So no picnic table, would you foresee like the little picnic pavilion type thing, or just open?
Well, just open. There is one larger pavilion that pretty well replicates what we have out there, and it's right there at that location, which we put near the playground. And
Closer to the water than what we have now?
yes. And I plan on doing a blow-up of an area, I'm calling this a central internal area, where I'll work with city staff to do placement of trash cans, benches, picnic tables. And so I plan on creating 3 different areas as said, part of the set of plans. One would be the central area, the other would be the playground area, and then the third one would be the beach area. Just to, just a guidance, a master plan.
Last question. The Wildlife Center is aggressively moving forward with raising their money for their building. And our goal is to start construction of both the park and the Wildlife Center at the same time after the busy season in the city, somewhere around April, May. That's our goal.
And that is 2018.
2018.
I honestly, it's my personal opinion, I don't see a problem with that. With the concreting, I guess, of this plan and the calculations that we've already done in terms of imperviousness and asphalt and those types of infrastructure items, we will then go to Southwest Florida Water Management District and FEMA. We are working with FEMA in an attempt to modify the Peace River Wildlife Center area from a velocity zone to an A zone. That will also help on the cost of the construction of the new bathroom.
So if council gives you conceptual approval today, that's what you're looking for in order to get to that next step, so we can get this going, so we can have bid documents when we need them.
Yes. Just a question, if you wanted to start construction in April or May, your bidding process is approximately how long?
Oh, we would need biddable documents by January.
Okay,
I just know how things go.
sure.
Are they in the process of the map revision now?
There's been conversations, but the actual, pending this approval today, I need to get an application to, I think, the city manager. I guess Howard would sign that. I'm not quite sure if that's your floodplain management director, whoever that would be, but I do need a signature.
Yeah, we will provide that for you,
Okay.
either me or Randy Cole, maybe.
Is it Randy?
Yeah.
Looks fine to me.
Callie, can I ask Callie's opinion?
Sure.
Since Callie's here.
Callie Stahl, Executive Director, Peace River Wildlife Center.
Are you cool with the way this is laid out? Everything going the way you want it?
I think it's excellent. Quite honestly, I think the public is going to have much more ability to enjoy the entire environment at the park. Additionally, the extended dock structure, for sunset viewing and things like that, I think it's going to be an excellent design, as well as the ability that Jim has kept a lot of the green space, the trees, the natural foliage that currently exists in the park, which we are going to duplicate within the Wildlife Center's area as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Good, great, thank you. Jim, thank you very much for
Thank you.
all of your work. This is incredible that you have offered to help the city and the Wildlife Center get this going, and very much appreciated. I'm in favor of approving the conceptual plan.
So am I. I second that.
We have a motion, and a second, to approve the conceptual plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
When I first got on council, people watch for new council people to pop up so they can bring their issue. And we have a group, I don't know, I haven't heard from them, maybe since you're new, you've heard from them. A group that spends a lot of time out at Ponce Park, and they feel that the traffic flow is opposite, and they wanted it changed. And they were pretty vocal for a while on that.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah, yep. So I'm glad we have an engineer's expert opinion that says our traffic flow is the way that it should be.
Interesting.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, next, what?
Jim? Full speed ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
New business, creation of a non-monetary gift policy.
Donna's gonna-
Okay.
Donna Peterman, our marketing liaison, will.
Our
like this.
volunteer marketing liaison.
Volunteer.
Volunteer, yes. And also, I am the chair of the Historic Preservation Advisory Board. So what I want to propose today is that the city council approve our ability to develop a policy governing non-monetary gifts. And by those, I mean the art that we've received over the years, so the plaques, the maps, the various things that adorn both the City Hall and the City Hall Annex. When we were thinking, as we were working on the branding project, we were wanting to come up with a policy that we could maybe use these buildings to display local artwork from various groups, but found that we had no policy governing what we were currently had in our custody. So what we would propose is that we not only come up with a policy, but also establish either a committee or a person who would manage this so that the city had ultimate flexibility in what it displayed, how long it displayed, if they decide to dispose of it. So many other cities have similar policies. We attached an ordinance from St. Augustine, Florida, which would give you some, an example. I would also say, too, that the city does not have the resources to run a museum per se or a historic archive. So again, that's why this policy is very important.
I think it makes sense for the Historic Preservation Board to do it. And then there is some kind of paper trail as well, because I know some of these things just appeared. And we really have no way to backtrack on where they came from or.
What their significance is.
Right. And if there is any.
Yeah, some there are and some there are not. So again, that's why we were thinking, and it's been brought up within the Historic Preservation Board that they would like to work on such a policy.
Perfect.
I don't know who would answer, Howard or Donna. In the event that something does get donated to the city, who will be responsible for assessing the value of that item?
Well, I think that will be part of the policy, that we have a process. We would also work with some of the local historic organizations. We've already talked to the History Center and others about being able to, establish the provenance and see whether or not this is something that we should have, or maybe it should go to another organization who can better maintain it.
Okay.
But right now, we don't have a curator per se.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to approve moving forward. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recommendation from city officers. Howard.
We have a budget meeting, first public hearing on the budget tonight at 5:01. We'll be doing the tentative millage, tentative budget, and then we will approving assessments for the Punta Gorda Isles Canal maintenance, Burnstone Isles Canal maintenance. We will be approving the CRA budget and the lot mowing assessment. We already talked about emergency management, so I won't go over that. On a final note, we will be including in the weekly report an announcement regarding our partnership with Humble, Texas, and an event we're going to be doing for that the fire department is leading up, raising money for the employees of Humble, Texas, to assist them, and we'll be announcing that as well in the weekly report. That's all I have.
Sounds good. City attorney.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. City clerk.
Yes, thank you. Under boards and committees, starting with vacancies, we have one unexpired term on the Board of Zoning Appeals for an alternate. Under nominations, we have an unexpired term on the Building Board. We do have one eligible applicant, if you would like to nominate and appoint.
Nominate and appoint Mr. Haynes.
Do we need, we need to vote, so we need a second on that.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to nominate and appoint. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you. Under nominations also, we have 2 3-year terms on the Board of Zoning Appeals. These are regular seats. We have 3 eligible applicants for nomination.
Nominate all.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay. And then lastly, we have an appointment to the Historic Preservation Advisory Board. This is an alternate seat. We have 2 eligible applicants. Here are your voting forms.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need
Our
one-
acting city attorney already has a copy.
Okay.
She was provided with that earlier.
We don't have enough.
Need more. We need one more.
Need one more.
There's only 3.
Oh. Okay.
Well, he could use that and then she can just tally.
Okay. My
Need
apologies.
an official tally sheet? Or could
No,
she-
no, no.
Okay. There's only 4, so it's gonna be too hard.
Okay, the appointee is Sushila Cherian.
Thank you.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, policy and legislation. I did ask Howard to bring back the reconsideration of the pilot program. After we had our discussion at the August 23rd council meeting, Vice Mayor Wine was not there, so I felt it was somewhat incomplete. And I really, after thinking about everything that happened at the meeting, I just felt uneasy about spending city resources at this time pursuing the pilot project when we know that the legislature is coming back in January, and this is a short time frame. I'm not opposed to possibly moving forward with that, seeing what the outcome of the legislature may be. I feel like we're going down a road, by ourselves, which I would like to see, maybe us take a pause and maybe partner with the county or, the Florida League and get a real, sense of direction and how other people are going, because I just feel like this could be a waste of city time and resources, especially, we pay our city attorney by the hour, so basically, it's real city dollars that are gonna be expended if we do this. So I just really had a lot of reservations. I know the ban did pass, but then I think the loose consensus was to pursue the pilot program, which I'm reconsidering myself until we know more. Yep.
Comment from Councilmember Prafke. She would consider the postponement until such time as we get a better idea of what the state legislature is going to be doing regarding whether or not they're going to give us some local control. So she is okay with the postponement until that time.
Okay.
Obviously, I have a lot of feelings about this particular issue, and became aware that, now that it's out in the public, that Jaha pursued one alternate as I pursued another alternate. I happen to think that the pilot program is probably the more elegant and logical way to pursue, but I would still want to keep my idea of working with one of the organizations in Tampa to do deliveries here and ask the city to supply a delivery location. I think it's important that we as a city make whatever avenue we pursue, to make a statement that we want to support and provide this type of service to medical marijuana people. We have to keep in mind, even the way the state legislature stands as it is, it's for medical marijuana, it's not for recreational, okay? And when we voted on the ban, and I voted for the ban, that we did have one dissent, and I happen to not disagree with Lynn for her dissent. I actually have as I expressed to her personally, admiration. I think we need to go through with the pilot program. I think that would be the preference way. I think that we have an elderly population, we have that do have various needs for medical marijuana, as do younger people for various types of melodies. This is a medical issue. This is a human dignity issue as well as a human health issue. And I think I would like to see us as a city to proactively and aggressively pursue an appropriate policy that would allow medical marijuana to be available to those in need within our community and the nearby surrounding communities as well. So I'm at this point inclined to say I think we should go forward with the pilot process.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to speak with Commissioner Tiseo from the Charlotte County Commissioners the other day about this, because he was the only dissenting vote at the county level. And he actually went up to Tampa and took a trip up there and visited the dispensary that is the primary one that the state has authorized. And he said, from the street, you would never know that there is one there. It's extremely professionally run. It's very well kept. You have absolutely no idea that there's anything going on inside the building that somebody would be in dismay about. And he said he went in and spoke to them, and he was very impressed with the professionalism and the way it was maintained and the entire professionalism of the whole organization. And I have to ask the question, what are we afraid of? what are we afraid of? I mean, if we put a pilot program in place with a sunset date, we pull the plug if we have to. That's just my opinion about it. I think we have to move forward. I'm still adamant about this, and there's gonna be some that really love me and some that really hate me over this, but I really feel very strongly that we need to consider putting a pilot program in place. And I don't understand what we're afraid of. I don't think we're gonna turn into Woodstock or anything. I mean, we're talking about allowing these dispensaries to exist in our city, and we put a 6-month sunset date on it, and we try it. If it doesn't work, 86 it, get rid of it. I understand that there are other issues like Jaha raised at the last meeting, I get that. But if you are of the mindset that you want to get on medical marijuana for medical reasons, then you take that risk. And it's a personal choice at that point. That's just my opinion about the whole thing.
I have no problem with personal choice to use it, it's legalized, and I'm not afraid of anything. I just know that we wanted more regulation, and if we do a 6-month pilot program and then we pull it and people have already gone through the process to get their dispensary license, I think we could be subject to legal challenge. I mean,
That's why I asked the city attorney to research it further, because I
right,
think
but he did not recommend it, but he did the research. He did not make a recommendation.
Yeah.
So I would just like a pause until March or April, until we figure out maybe, because I'm in the thought process that this could be a waste, and if things do change, and I know the paper reported yesterday when they had that Republican meeting, did anybody go? That it was a topic of discussion with Richard Corcoran. So, I'm just trying to preserve resources for the time being.
Well, I'm also concerned that Richard Corcoran is of the mindset that he wants to eliminate home rule, and I'm very concerned about that. And if we don't do something now, we may not have the choice to do it later on. Because if he does elect to go run as governor, there could be a lot of changes in our state government. That could be a huge problem that we're not even talking about.
I mean, that's specifically why I say this is problematic, because he's the architect of this whole scenario. I mean, he created this scenario so that, really, to take away home rule. That's why this is this way. See, I agree with the mayor in that I think it'd be really actually very unfair to dispensary company if we play with them like this. There's no reason why someone should invest. I mean, who would want to invest in a situation where it's variable? I think we do a disservice to the business. I do think that if there is some way the city could help facilitate the relationship between dispensary in Tampa and our residents to be able to abstain it, I'm 100% with that. But I think we should leave things as they are, because until we know what legislature's gonna do, because it's a problematic bill. But so somewhere in the middle, I think is a good place.
Yes,
Why do we need to put a 6-month, why can't we have a 3-year pilot program? It seems to me at 6 months, it's not gonna be economically viable for someone to wanna invest in this anyway.
That I wouldn't be for, only because, again, the law is so problematic that I think that us and other cities, we do have to have united stands in terms of the legislature correcting the law. The law creates wage payment problems for our patients, wage payment problems for our employers. I mean, like actually, when I was going, I put an editorial in the paper that actually outlined specifically even the case law that showed the kind of danger it places both employees and employers. And with this, I think that we do our people a very serious disservice if we allow them to believe that this is a scenario that's going to benefit them. Yes, the medicine will, but the legal quandary that it can place them in is very problematic. And I think that we're really not being responsible if we put our people in harm's way, letting them believe there's a green light. It's not a green light. It's a green light to get it, but it's not a green light for you to be able to use it safely within your life.
I find this is a moral dilemma.
I do as well.
I think that sometimes you have to take a risk in life to do the right thing morally.
I agree.
So,
Well, I'm hearing we have 2 and 2 so far. So that means unless somebody changes, at this meeting today, the reconsideration does not move forward, and we continue as staff to move forward. That's what I'm hearing. It's 2-2. Did I hear it right?
I can tell you that my first husband passed away in 2004 from cancer, and had he had the opportunity to use this, it would have certainly eliminated much of the pain he had to endure,
but
especially.
people here can use it.
yeah, they have to go to Tampa to get it, or they have
No,
to
no,
pay-
they can
Go to
order it
Venice.
Or
directly to the
they
house.
have to charge $50 delivery fee to
No,
get
it's
it.
not
No,
$50.
it's $25.
Not my friend that lives in my bird section in my district.
She didn't pay the right amount. It's $25. I've talked to the people in Tampa directly.
Yeah.
Maybe could we get, didn't you say that they offered to come?
Yes, actually, the people will come and speak to us. We can actually have the people come and actually,
Answer our
They can answer our
questions?
questions. We can have them actually do this, so we're not guessing, because what happens.
I would like them to do that. I mean, I know of 3 patients that are utilizing medical marijuana in Punta Gorda that were, was it True Leave?
Yes.
They deliver to Venice on a regular basis. They're there for about 6 hours. They have armed security, so everything is done very professional, as Lynn was going. But they're still going to Venice, okay? But they have to go to Venice at their predetermined time to pick up their 90-day supply or their 270-day supply, whatever it is, and then travel back.
Now, the company told me that they can deliver to people's homes. They just have to go through the process, that 2-month process.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If there's a way we can help facilitate this for people, we can't act as if they can't get medical marijuana in Florida. We're not preventing people from getting the treatment. We just need to think of a way that we can help facilitate it in a way that helps them, but also doesn't harm them with the regular scenario we're in right now.
So, yeah, can
And
we
that's
find
why-
out how Venice set that,
Well,
the delivery
the
station?
way it works is, and I've made a couple phone calls, and there is some mild interest. There is one doctor in Punta Gorda that is authorized to dispense medical marijuana. There's a couple more in Charlotte County. For a doctor to be able to be authorized to prescribe it, they have to take a course, and they have to pay a couple $1,000s to take that course, and then they're appropriate. So if you get appropriate doctors in the community to show that interest, and then, and sufficient surrounding patients within reasonable travel distance, and then we could do something very similar to what's happening in Venice. And that was one of the avenues that apply. My motivation would be is that if we were to do that, I would like to see the delivery location, not at a doctor's office, but at a city facility, like I said, for the city to be able to make a statement that we want to be able to assist our people. Irregardless of that, I wouldn't want that to stand in the way. I just like the idea better. At this point in time, though, I just think that the pilot program concept is more elegant, and I can do with the help of another individual that has been very helpful to me and obtain some of this information to pursue, see if we get some doctors available that would be interested in this type of pursuit.
The only thing with this is that we're still not acknowledging the reality we're in. Pilot program still has to be consistent with the state law, which is you open the door, it's unlimited, whatever. We're imagining that we can create a pilot program. It's like if through legal research possible mechanisms can be done, it's possible. But we, as of now, we can call whatever name we want to call it. All we're going to be doing is just doing what we're doing. We're simply just going to surrendering our home rule and allowing anyone to be able to open any place a pharmacy exists. We don't have the power right now via state law to actually do a pilot program. This is why we're saying we would look at it, and this is why the mayor is saying that we should really be realistic about this. We don't have this power. We don't have the ability to do so. We can talk about pilot programs, but we don't have the law by virtue of the state to do this right now. That's just where it is.
Yeah, do we have legal counsel that tells us that exact statement right now?
Yeah, but legal counsel can reflect on this. The state law is state law. We can't supersede state law as of now.
I think we would be opening ourselves to legal challenge. Particularly if we let a couple in and then we pull the plug, and then what? The Department of Health, Dr. Lepore is here. I don't know if he has anything he would like to add.
Yes.
Following the train of thoughts, I'm Dr. Lepore from the Department of Health. Currently, the legislature is working on revising their plan as it states. You know, we don't want to do a disservice to the citizens of the state of Florida that voted for this, but there are some legal concerns, both from the Board of Medicine that was raised at the conference in Orlando in August, as well as the DOH's role in regulating and monitoring the prescription program. You're not doing a disservice to those patients because there are pharmacies available that can have the medications delivered. There are other issues about the card registration that the patients have to apply for. It's a card that has an expiration date, needs to be reevaluated by their medical provider. There are other issues as well with medical providers that are going into this business, is whether their malpractice will remain in force since it is still a Scheduled I class drug, and whether their malpractice will continue to run forward as they treat patients with these conditions. It is the right of the insurance company to refuse to pay out on these claims because it is against federal regulation that they not write for those drugs, whether the state allows it or not. So those are issues that are still being raised and under concern that we still have to deal with. Also, the issues that I may have a problem with is the mitigation. If the city does allow this to go forward, the risk for litigation later on, having allowed that to be in the space of the city and so forth. So my recommendation would be to caution to see where the state legislature goes and moves forward to allow you more flexibility to regulate within the own confines of your space within the county and the city. It would be nice if we present a unified front, both at the county level and at the city level, and that could be left for more discussion later on, something that we have to look at. But the Department of Health maintains a neutral position in this, and we're just doing our best efforts to regulate accordingly and work with the legislator in this regard and to how we go forward as a state agency. Any questions for me?
Didn't you tell me something about the card specifies what type, what type,
Well, the card specifically will state that you have medicinal use marijuana, so you cannot smoke it in a joint form. You can use it as an inhaled, through an inhaled device, vaporizing it as a pill. If you use it in any other form, there may be repercussions. Also, when you drive your vehicle and you have medical marijuana, you have to have your card present, so it creates a whole host of liability issues for the patient as well. Right now, the services that are provided by the state for those that are approved, the growers and the dispensaries, they will deliver it to your home, so you're not doing a disservice to the patient. They still will be able to get it, just not in our city limits or in our county currently as it stands. But those pharmacies will deliver to their home. So we're not denying the patients or the voters who have voted for this. We're just making it in a different way that they can get it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Can we bring this back again for the next meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Okay,
Put it back on the agenda.
put it
again
back
for the
on,
20th.
put it back on.
Can we see if we can get some of those people here that
That
you're
would be
referring to?
perfect. That would be
That would
really
be-
good.
I would do that.
You'll do
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay. We'll-
And do
we
you want
will-
to find out about Venice? You want to get those details for us, how they work that out for the?
I could ask one of the patients to come and speak to us.
Well, Sue Reeves would certainly come and speak to us.
Yeah, that's not one of the patients that I know, so, there are people that are getting it. I think it's a matter of, well, I've stated my piece, and I can appreciate everything that my colleague, Jaha has to say about it, but I think sometimes we should roll the dice.
I'm just saying, on this case, we're rolling imaginary dice. I mean, I went to a full day session with the state about this, and we don't actually have the power to do what we imagine we have the power to do. We have to follow state law right now. We don't have the power to do a pilot anything. Well, if we open the door's open. There's no in-between space that we can do, and that's the thing. We don't have that power. Hopefully we'll have that power after January.
Or February or March?
Or February, March, right?
We'll put this back on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just for clarification, if all the groups aren't available to come on the 20th, could it be maybe the first meeting in October?
That's probably more realistic.
Yeah, that probably
I
is.
just wanted to
Yeah, that's
not
probably-
say it's
Because
gonna be on the
obviously they're
next
not-
agenda.
If we're gonna
and
do
we
it, we
can't-
wanna do it right.
Yes,
Okay.
We'll do it
So-
October.
Mhm.
yes.
Thank you.
Well, what day is that meeting? October meeting, the first one?
Fourth.
October 4th.
All right.
October 4th, okay. Can I make a quick announcement?
Sure.
Got an email from Patty Allen, Fisherman's Village. The Village Mall will be closing tomorrow, Thursday, and the marina at Fisherman's Village will be closing at 5:30 PM tomorrow.
Do they make everybody leave, or what do they do?
Well, the staff and the management team will be on the property until it's time for to go, but it's going to close.
Okay.
I don't know if I guess you all got the email. John asked me to relay that the chamber ribbon cutting for tonight and tomorrow night are both canceled. And I also got a note on Facebook that the Pickleplex unveiling is also canceled for next week. It will be rescheduled. So if there's
I've
any-
also received an email from Kathy Nee at the county that the Economic Development Partnership meeting has been canceled.
The lunch tomorrow?
This is
The
just the
lunch.
EDP meeting
The
on
lunch.
September 7th.
Yes, that's lunch.
Yeah, so that's, okay. Because that's not them. We have the other meetings next week.
Theirs is still on.
And I'm assuming Do the Right Thing is still on, because we haven't heard otherwise.
Until you hear otherwise, it's still on.
Okay. And I did get an email that there is another call tonight with Governor Scott at 7:15. So this may be a nightly thing, I'm not sure.
Okay, so EDP is canceled.
Yes.
Okay, council member comments. Let's start with Gary.
I think I just made enough.
No, nothing further.
Nothing.
Citizens' comments, any topic. Head to this podium, state your name. You have 3 minutes. I know you wanted us to go till noon, but it just didn't happen.
Well, it's getting close there. Gary Skillicorn, and I'll be real quick. Be a leader, not a follower. Excuse me, that is in reference to the pilot program.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other citizens' comments? Seeing none? 10:54?
Yay.
Wow. We'll be back.